Hi you guys, this is Kat. Today I'd like to share a haul I've gotten from the medieval fair. This is my first video, so bear with me. Today I'm doing a bead haul. These first beads I got were only $2. I'm not sure if they're worth $2, but I really like them. I believe they're nickel, based on what the lady told me at the booth. And she wasn't sure, but because of their rusting, she thought that they were nickel. I got another set of these beads as well that are more elongated. I'd like to make some medieval style jewelry with these, and I liked that they kind of looked older with the rusting. Based on how, they're probably really old, so they may not be worth much, but I liked that about them, so they were worth it for me. Next is just a fun piece I picked up from the bargain beads. I like it because it's kind of translucent and you can see through it. And I thought it would make a fun piece to add to a beach jewelry set maybe. And that was made out of shell. Next I want to show you what I find the most fascinating to pick up at the medieval fair, which are these bone beads. I pick up these fairly at a decent price because they sell them in little bags, but you really have to go through them to find things that are interesting, because just picking up random bags doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get something you like. This is one of the pieces I liked. It's a dragon, and you can see that the bone looks really neat. This one actually doesn't have holes in it, which I didn't like a lot, but I figure I can make something to turn it into a pendant later on. Now, these came in bags about this big, and they were either full or only a couple pieces, depending on how intricate the pieces were. So I bought 10 of those, and those are probably the last things I'm going to show you, because that's all I got at the medieval fair this year. But I got a lot of these types of beads, so it should still be interesting. Now, there's not a lot of these, but some of the darker beads with light features looked really neat to me. And you can probably hear me shuffling through. There's a lot of beads in here. I think that's all of that type. So let's move on. Some of my favorite pieces just reminded me of different cultures and histories, and I really don't see too many like this. And I buy a lot of beads. I love beads. And I don't think they're too expensive of a hobby to have, as long as you don't overdo it, which I probably do. But it looks like a carving of a bird. Kind of older looking. I can't think of what culture this comes from, but I still really like it. Some other pieces I really liked. Some more animal pieces. I really love this fish because I noticed it had 4 holes, and you could string up like 4 strings and create kind of a neat, I don't again know what culture that would allude to, but I just love it for the fun of it. Not everyone likes mixing things from different cultures, but I just like a little bit of everything. I believe this is an elephant bead. There was another one here as well that's a different color. I'll pull it out if I see it. Also included some plainer pieces, which are always still nice. Some of them have holes in them, some of them don't, and they all have their own character because these are natural material, mostly bone beads, and so you never know what you're really going to get in these. Some of them look more smooth and nice than others. And then sometimes you end up with random pieces that really aren't always the best. It just depends on what you like. I think these are nice. I mean, I wouldn't give them to someone that prefers a lot of order. And then you'll find some pieces that are really hard to figure out what to do with, like this. but I still find them fascinating, so I don't consider it a bad buy. Here's another piece that was one of my favorites. It reminds me of an Egyptian head, and I really like that. And I'm pretty sure the value of this is much more than $1, and it came with a few other things as well, and it was the only one of its type, so who knows. I tried looking them up on the internet, but I really couldn't find how much they were worth. Also comes with some connector beads if you find the right packs, and I really like these as well, but it's hard to find enough to match up to make anything really great so far. I've only bought these for a couple years, so hopefully eventually I'll come together with enough to match up. If not, I'll still use them in some way or another. Here's another piece with no hole in it, but it kind of looks like a claw. It's kind of nice and smooth. Let's see. And you never know how many holes these are going to have, so you can make some multi. Look at the color in that one, it's kind of nice. Looks like the rings of a tree. Here's some of the more interesting carved ones. Now, if you're looking for earrings, these probably aren't the best things because you're not likely going to find a ton of things that completely match. But I love mixed things, and that doesn't bother me not to have matching ones. Especially because a lot of these I just want to make just kind of spontaneous, one-of-a-kind pieces of jewelry out of. So, yeah. And you can always use things that you only have one of as pendants, or like kind of like a bunch of things to, like a cluster of beads to make a pendant. So it's not always bad to have only one of a kind. Here's another interesting piece. You got 3 and only 1 hole up there. I'm guessing the holes in this one are kind of just for show. Sorry, I wasn't paying attention to what you could see. But the bottom holes go up, but you only have 1 hole on the top. That's interesting. The weight of these are really nice. They're a little heavier than wood. They kind of feel like the weight of glass. So you can tell they're not plastic. I thought that they were I thought they were wood when I first got them a couple years ago, the first kind I got, but then I figured out this year that they're much more likely to be bone based on the other things they sell and because of how they feel. My nail polish is here's another really neat one. Kind of alludes to an African mask, I believe. Don't hold me on that though, because I don't really know for sure, and I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings if they know the answer. I still like them, no matter what. Here's a piece I was drawn to. I know it's plain, but I could imagine a really nice bracelet, mixing this with some other materials and using it as kind of the center. That's why I got the bag that had this one in it. Oh, here's the other elephant. See? It's a darker color. And here's the other one. You can tell that even when some of the things are created to be the same, they still aren't, because this one has an area that goes all the way through. This one doesn't. It just alludes to a hole there. So, yeah, they're not always going to match even if they look like they match, because they're natural material and they do what they want. Another piece I was drawn to was this flower. It's simple, but I love it. Don't know what you guys think about it. But yeah, I was drawn to it. I'm not sure if it has a hole like I originally thought and hoped, but that's okay. I can still find a way to use it. Here's some more pieces. I'll move those out of the way so you can see the other pieces. Some more carved pieces. I love these pieces because they kind of dangle and you can make really neat like necklaces out of them. And look at those designs. Really neat. I'm not quite sure how you carve something like this. Maybe it's heated. Who knows? If you know, maybe leave it in the comment section because I'm always interested in learning new techniques for things I can create on my own. Here's a peace sign, which I found interesting. I'm not sure how medievally or cultural that is, but it's very modern and it's still cute. And this place had a lot of mixed things. So they sold leather, they sold suede, they sold, let me see, there's a broken piece. Still useful, I guess, but doesn't really have any holes. Could build something for that and paint it or something. More elongated. So yeah, there's just a bunch of stuff here, guys. I mean, you can look at it with me. I know one piece I'd like to show you guys. Some of you might find this gross, but I thought it was really cool. I'm just gonna actually keep this. I'm not probably gonna put it into anything, but I like to keep like natural things just for kind of to collect. And I love, you know, shark teeth. I have no idea what, I believe this is a tooth of some sort. And I think they do a lot of preservation of animals and stuff. And I kind of broke this by accident. I'm a little clumsy, but I dropped it. But I think I'll just keep it as something interesting for my kind of natural collection. But if you guys know what animal that goes to, I'm kind of curious. There was another thing, I'm not sure if it's like a claw or a tooth, but again, kind of curious to what it belongs to. If you guys know, let me see if I can, yeah. If you guys know what that is, let me know. I kind of like it. Here's, let's see, here's this little teardrop piece. Sorry, my head's full. But again, this piece does not have a hole in it. I like them, but not as much as the ones with holes because I have to actually do more work for them to be created into something. This I really like. It's simple, but you could put like a bead in the center and it can be like kind of framed by this bead, which I really like that feature. This carving's just kind of cute. It looks like fish scales. And here's some more of those interesting kind of circles and lines, kind of bullseye designs. And here's, you can see, it has a lot of holes in it, and most of it pretty good shape. See, some of them were meant to have holes, I suppose. That or this is just a design, but it looks like didn't quite work out, so they just kind of brought it all the way through. This reminds me of a guitar pick or like a Spades of Hearts in a card game. Kind of cool. Some of these things I didn't even notice because I didn't get to go through them there because it it was also raining, so. And most of the people I'm with, they don't really like to look at things like this, so kind of only got to go through a couple boxes of things, which were the ones I wanted, so I didn't really need any more leather or anything like that this year because I haven't used up all my bags from last year. And I often go for the bargains, so I don't buy a lot of the beads that they sell by themselves, so I often buy these packs so that I can get them a little cheaper and more of them. And they don't usually actually sell these like different variations of bone beads alone, I think because they have such different variances of their quality, and you know, it's easier to sell that as a whole because some of the pieces might be a little bit odd to sell on their own, so it's kind of a win-win. They win and we do too because you get a little deal. Oh, this piece was interesting, but I also accidentally dropped it on the ground. But I looked in a previous picture, and it actually must have been broken before, because as you can see here, there's a crack here, following the same area where it broke with me. And so I figure I'll just glue this. I'm not sure with what yet. I'll have to figure that out. But it actually still will look the same. I was a little disappointed in myself for dropping this, but this is just kind of for my treasures, my memory treasures. I kind of keep them in a box, like little trinkets and stuff, to remind me of different things. And this will remind me of Medieval Faire from this year. I looked it up. She just reminded me of the Willendorfs, from kind of like the fertility little statues from old times, from like cave people and stuff. But turns out she's like a goddess or something. I don't know. I just thought it was a really neat little carving. And it was a great little kind of thing to remember the Medieval Faire this year. And I plan on fixing her arm, so I'm going to try to keep that together. Just going to kind of show you little handfuls now, because a lot of it's left here is kind of small, and I've already kept you guys going for like 18 minutes, so. Whoops. Yeah, I kind of have the rest in a box. I'm going to show you guys. Let's see. Alright, here's kind of the rest of what I got going on. Still some interesting things, but I don't really feel like taking it all out of the box right now, because I've shown you basically most of it. But here's the other little bits and pieces. And like I said, I got about, I don't know, about 10 little bags. And each of those bags were about $1 a piece. And they were just filled with these little guys. And I actually think it's a better deal than buying online, which is surprising because a lot of prices are jacked up at the Medieval Faire. But it's still nice to find a few souvenirs that are reasonable. Well, that's all I got. Let me see if I can add some of the stuff back so you can see it all together. And the total amount, kind of gentle, that I spent at the Medieval Faire for souvenirs for these beads was about $15 or $16, which I think was pretty good, because looking online at prices of carved bone beads, they seem to be a little higher than that but I think you get like a lot of the same kind when you spend more, and most of mine don't really match that well, but that's okay with me. I have a lot of other beads that match that I can mix in with them so that they can make final pieces better. But let's see. Let me show you what all we have here. And this is about what I got for the full price. Here. Sorry for the lighting. I'll try to do better in some of the other videos, but yeah, I don't think it's too bad, you know? $16. Alright, thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye!